For over a decade, innocent people in the Lake Chad region of Nigeria, Cameroon, Niger and Chad have come under sustained attack from Boko Haram terrorists. It's a dastardly tale of death, destruction and displacement. The devastating aftermath of insurgent attacks in the region has left a trivial mark on the walls of the communities affected. This is the Multinational Joint Task Force MNJTF, a regional security force tasked with the responsibility of combating insurgency, providing a safe and secured environment in the areas affected by the Boko Haram insurgency in the Lake Chad region. The Multinational Joint Task Force was formally established with the aim of preventing cross-border armed banditry around the Lake Chad Basin and promoting unrestricted movement along Nigeria's northeast border. Subsequently, in the wake of the Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast region, in 2015, the African Union authorized the reoperationalization of the MNJTF to serve as a regional security framework comprising of defense forces from contributing countries of Cameroon, Niger, Nigeria and Chad, with administrative support from Benin contingent. The MNJTF is mandated by the Lake Chad Basin Commission and is divided into an operational headquarters located in N'Djamena, Chad, and 4 sectors that cover the force's area of responsibility. Sector 1, with headquarters in Mora, covers northern Cameroon. Sector 2, headquartered in Bagasola, covers western Chad, while Sector 3, headquartered in Mongonu, covers the northeastern corner of Nigeria. Finally, Sector 4 is composed of Nigerian troops stationed in Difa, covering the region along the Komadugu-Yobe River from east to west. The MNJTF receives additional support from partner organizations in countries like the European Union, African Union, Center for Coordination and Liaison, and the United Kingdom in achieving its mandate.
MNJTF is actually implementing the 3rd mandate of the Lake Chad Basin Commission, which is ensuring security in the Lake Chad Basin. So, but the 2 organizations actually have been working very closely. We support MNJTF with strategic guidance. This is what we have been doing, while the headquarters of the Multinational Joint Task Force carries out the operational responsibilities. Now, in that area, we have also developed the regional stabilization strategy with the support of the African Union and the UNDP, which is supposed to address the core challenges, the core causes of the insurgency in the first place.
With over 15,000 of its troops deployed across the region, the force has conducted several operations since 2015. In its mandate, the MNJTF's mission is simple, and that is to crush all elements of Boko Haram insurgents, restore peace, support humanitarian efforts, and ensure a secured environment for continuous development in the region. Major General Abdul Khalifa Ibrahim of the Nigerian Army is the current force commander of the MNJTF, and he discusses the force's performance in combat and humanitarian operations during the previous operation under his command.
In December of 2021, we had an operation codenamed Operation Sharon Fagi. It was between the Nigerian and the Nigerian forces of the MNJTF, and we look at the area around the Komadugu-Yobe River that stretches from Nigeria into Niger. We found out that the criminals were hibernating around that site, so we made a very good operation there that cleared the area and enabled displaced persons from Niger to return to Malam Faturi, and also enabled the Nigerians to celebrate their National Day, I think December 20th or so, in Difa. That was the first time in about 8 or 9 years and it was successful. Now coming to Operation Lake Sanity, yes, that is the major operation under my watch that was carried out from about March to June, July of 2022. It was a major operation, land, air, and maritime, within the troubled areas, the areas where we felt the Boko Haram were hibernating in the Lake Chad Islands. And it was quite successful. For the first time, we were able to penetrate deeper than we have ever done. And the consequence of that operation is that over 50,000 people were able to return to their locations where they were displaced from.
Major General Ibrahim Manu Yusuf was the former force commander of the MNJTF from 2019 to 2021.
During my time as force commander and even now, what you find is Nigerian troops collaborating with their Cameroonian counterpart, cross-border operations as provided for in the concept of operations. You see Chadian forces collaborating with Nigerian and Nigerian forces crossing into each other's country, such that the terrorists no longer have a safe haven. Prior to this time, when there were issues of distrust, the terrorists took advantage and they set up their camps across the border, taking advantage of any ungoverned spaces. But today, that is not the situation.
Setting out for patrol, making sure they are battle ready. This is the Sector 3 command of the Multinational Joint Task Force in Mongonu, Borno State, Northeast Nigeria. Over time, the sectors of MNJTF have conducted various operations that led to the liberation of communities that were once under the control of Boko Haram terrorists.
A lot of planning and equipment needs to go into any operation that we have conducted in the past. And an attack on one is an attack on all for the Multinational Joint Task Force, and it means that when we go out, we are leveraging on the platforms of the 4 countries in the Multinational Joint Task Force. Specifically, we've conducted a lot of kinetic operations in the last couple of years, when that led to the decimation of the terrorists. A lot of them were neutralized, and also a lot of equipments were either destroyed or captured from them, and that has greatly degraded their capacity to put up any resistance presently in the area of operations. And consequent upon the kinetic operations too, a lot of them have surrendered. At the last count, we have about 81,000 Boko Haram terrorists that have surrendered, and approximately 20% of that figure comes from Sector 3.
In the most recent operation, the 4 sectors collaborated to expel and eradicate insurgents from communities in the region. The operation was triumphant, resulting in the apprehension of significant Boko Haram commanders, along with over 2,342 surrendered Boko Haram fighters, 62 rescued hostages, and over 10,000 IDPs and refugees were managed between January to December 2022.
Le lac Tchad est un point vital. Ce point vital fait en sorte que toutes nos populations riveraines convergent vers ce lieu qui est un lieu de vie pour eux. Donc, Boko Haram, ayant compris que c'est un point vital, a essayé d'occuper cet endroit où ça lui permet également de vivre sur des taxes, sur des rançons, prise d'otages, ainsi de suite. Et voilà comment Boko Haram mène son économie de guerre.
There has been a notable improvement in the security situation in communities on the Sector 1 in Mora, Cameroon, with a large number of people returning to their ancestral homes.
C'est l'opération Lake Sanity qui a eu lieu pendant que je n'étais pas encore ici, mais c'était une opération qui consistait à bouter hors du lac et des environs du lac Tchad les refuges terroristes qui étaient carrément des bastions qui étaient installés et à partir desquels ces terroristes-là se déployaient sur le terrain pour aller dans les différents secteurs, arnaquer les populations, s'aimer la terreur, ainsi de suite, ainsi de suite. On peut dire clairement qu'au regard du bilan, l'opération a été un grand succès puisque beaucoup de refuges de ces terroristes-là ont été détruits.
Similarly, the security situation in the Bagasola region, where Sector 2 of the MNJTF is located, has also improved significantly.
الفورسمنتس يعني سيكتور دي قدروا كانوا صدوا كثير من الهجومات وأيضا قدروا يعني فضوا بعض الأحيان المحلات اللي هم القاعدين ولذلك الأمور بتاعت البداية والآن فالحمد لله في قوة عن الناس التروريستين ده الآن ده قليل يعني ما زي البداية وده كله يعني فضل من الجيش أنا سيكتور دي قدروا يعني سدوا كل المحاولات عن البوكو حرام وقدروا يعني مرقوهم من المحلات ولذلك نقول الآن إذا كان في بوكو حرام ما كان زي أول الضعف عنهم ده يعني أكثر مما كان زمان.
Sector 3 of the MNJTF has made significant progress in community engagement to strengthen the relationship with returning locals of displaced communities.
Mao's a Tongue's book that says that in order to kill the insurgency, you need to separate the fish from the water. And that is what we have tried to do over the last couple of years. That is not having collaborators. When you see something, you say something. And that has worked tremendously well for us. Even those that have come out to surrender are coming out to surrender because they see that the end is near. The logistics no longer getting to them, and they are strangulated where they are. So I think we have done a lot in that regard too.
Meanwhile, Sector 4, which also serves as the tactical headquarters of the MNJTF, has successfully ensured security in the Diffa region, which was greatly affected by the insurgency.
Une opération qu'on a dénommée donc l'ex-amitié. Et cette opération a été très bénéfique parce que, en plus donc du bilan humain côté ennemi, plus de 800 morts, on a quand même réduit considérablement leur logistique. Donc c'est près d'une cinquantaine de véhicules qu'on a pu neutraliser avec de l'armement récupéré et des munitions. En plus de cela, donc aujourd'hui, cette opération a permis, comme je le disais, donc de démystifier un peu l'ennemi, de le démystifier et d'encourager nos hommes qui savent qu'aujourd'hui, la menace Boko Haram n'est pas insurmontable.
Soja isana karo kujifa nyena she soja ta yisudona bune puna chondie alem binde bana miena amasa soja bat basartiel bune bonyen ba kashien waja kashien bune kashien.
2015, les gens avaient fui le village pour se retrouver à Mora. Et avec le déploiement donc de la force multinationale dans le village, la population est rentrée progressivement dans son village.
Ta hanyar Boko Haram an samu sauki sosai ba kaman da ba ne. Yanzu ko ina da ina kowa zai tafi jeji ya dawo zai shiga kamun kifi ya dawo ya sayar a gari. Ana zaune lamin lafiya. Kullum suna wucewa suna komawa suna zuwa patrol da sauransu me duk suna yi. Ba abin da ba sa yi.
Our security they are trying for us. It's because of them we are here. Because of our security, that is why we are here. I don't believe there is no security. We cannot stay here.
Gaskiya an samu ci gaba sakamakon baya da shekara ɗaya biyu da suka wuce. Da kilomita ɗaya baka isa ka fita ka bar garin nan ba. Amma yanzu alhamdulillah ana fita a je har bakin Chadi a yi noma a kama kifi.
The implementation of the regional stabilization strategy for the recovery and resilience of areas affected by the Boko Haram insurgency in the Lake Chad region, which was adopted in 2018, has also been made possible by the presence of the MNJTF security structures.
The RSS has also been a huge success. Just 9 pillars and 40 strategic objectives, and it's being implemented gradually by our partners. UNDP is implementing 4 of the 9 pillars, while the World Bank is implementing 6 of the pillars. So these are meant to provide immediate humanitarian support, stabilization, and gradually moving towards development and building resilience in the affected areas.
The MNJTF has undertaken multiple humanitarian endeavors in recent years to foster goodwill and establish trust with the populace. By teaming up with the host communities, the MNJTF, in partnership with the RSS project, has implemented facilities to facilitate day-to-day tasks, particularly in communities that have been re-inhabited. This has improved civil-military cooperation and also endeared the local populace to the MNJTF.
En commun, c'est ce que nous faisons au quotidien. On accompagne toutes ces ONG-là pour que ces structures de la vie normale puissent revenir là où les populations sont. Et à partir de là, elles peuvent elles-mêmes reprendre leurs activités économiques, qui l'agriculture, qui l'élevage, qui le petit commerce.
اليوم عندنا مع المواطن أو لاجئين أو نازحين. تعاملنا مع المواطن أو اللاجئين ده يعني تعامل قريب أكثر من يكون ناس في البيت، لأن أننا لابد من حماية للمواطن أو النازحين أو اللاجئين أو رجال دم الماسين. لهذا السبب أمورنا تمام ما في أي مشكلة.
As we speak, there are about almost 10 million naira worth of farm implements that the multinational joint task force has donated to the communities that are coming back in Baga, in Gubiu. Several borehole projects were also implemented, and within the week we are expecting to receive medical supplies also to be given to these communities. That is some out of several other civil military projects that has been executed in Sector 3 under the direction of the multinational joint task force.
Les relations qu'il y a entre la population et nous sont très très bonnes. En 2021, quand je suis arrivé, on avait des difficultés à avoir des renseignements. L'ennemi pouvait venir kidnapper des gens, tuer et retourner sans être puni, mais avec l'opération Lexanity, ça a encouragé justement la population à nous donner plus de renseignements.
Kwanan nan sun zo sun rarraba kaya yaran makarantar jakuna da sauransu mema. Sai su sojojin ma jami'an tsaron ta fannin su ma. Suna yin komi suna tsaya a kan talakawa.
Ba lehi tsaro, soja kan sun tsare mu ba lehi. In dare yayi ko alayi kana barki saboda kwana suke suna zagaye suna tsaron mu, ba mu da tashin hankali, mun samu tsaro alhamdulillah.
Lokacin da an kawo mu garin nan, mai girma gwamna injiniya Babagana Umar Zulum ya kawo mu garin nan ya ja mana kunne. Ya ce mana duk yanda za mu yi mu ba kai ma jama'an tsaron mu da su polisawanmu da sojojinmu da civilian JTF namu mu hada kanmu mu kawo ma mu zaman lafiya.
Da garin nan mun zo wannan gaba daya ciyawa ya kewaye mu, muna jin tsoro darin. Amma yanzu fi sabilillahi a cikin gidanka zaka kwana zaka yi wuni miye wannan duk ba farmu gaban komai. Alhamdulillah mun gode wa sojojinmu sun tashi sun tsaya a kanmu, gaskiya suna yi mana aiki iya daidai gwargwaro.
Wallahi na gode sosai ma, na gode ba diyawa na gode wallahi tunda ya zo mu ya tsoron mu wannan alhamdulillah.
Over the past year, the MNJTF has made significant strides in restoring peace to the Lake Chad region by reducing the capacity of terrorists. As a result, hundreds of refugees and internally displaced persons have been able to return to their ancestral homes in various areas such as Baga, Dorombaga, Malam Fatori, Bindirim, and Cross Kawa in Nigeria, Balagua, Darak, and Fotokol in Cameroon, Kangalia and Kaiga in Chad, and Barwa in Gagam and Fogoy in Niger. Normalcy and civil authority have been re-established in these areas, leading to the reopening of major international trade routes like the N'Djamena Kusiri, Gamboru, Maiduguri, and the reopening of major commercial markets and trading have resumed in these communities after over 8 years of closure.
The operation was quite successful, and it created conditions for commerce to thrive more than before. Like in Baga, they started fishing and agriculture. So the operation to a large extent helped to improve on stability in the general area.
For the first time in 8 years, IDPs were able to peacefully celebrate Eid al-Fitr in May and July of last year. The MNJTF's efforts have also facilitated the re-establishment of civil authorities in several places, including Kolofata and Amshide in Cameroon, Banki and Baga in Nigeria. As the region begins to recover from the devastating effects of terrorism, the people of the Lake Chad region have come together to fight against all forms of criminal activity and maintain their unity. This presents an opportunity for locals to rejuvenate and build an even stronger community for future generations. Overall, the operational activities of the MNJTF have strengthened the relationship between the 4 countries involved.